Well, this was the segment I was dreading to get to in the show. I'm glad we put it halfway through so I could prepare myself, get acclimated to the show this week before I had to speak of my Michigan State Spartans. And I think I'm going to call it the Columbus Clusterfuck because I don't know how else you describe what the fuck happened on that field last Saturday.
Not good.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that was your text. Was it in the first quarter still? May have been the second quarter. It was a blowout already at that point. And your very astute comment to me was not good. And to which I replied, "Thanks, Captain Obvious." I think
they only got worse from there.
Yeah, they were probably down 28-0 at that point and not going anywhere.
I think you guys tied in the second half, though.
Yeah, it was a great second half, 7-7, if you look at it that way. So, like in Dave Wanstash's philosophy, if you just knock out the whole first half, the State was right there.
We're right in this game.
Unfortunately, State gave up 500 yards, 7 touchdowns. Just an incredible an obscene barrage of offense from the Ohio State Buckeyes. Really, State didn't belong in the same field with Ohio State. It was like they were playing two different sports. It was ridiculous. I didn't have any faith that State would win the game. I thought, maybe on the, crazier things have happened in a major upset, but I thought they wouldn't embarrass themselves. I thought it'd be kind of a shootout. I thought it'd be a high scoring affair. I wasn't going to be surprised if Ohio State came up with 50 some points because they've been doing that to everybody every week pretty much. And State's defense has not shown itself to be worthy of top 4, top 6 rankings, as they have had the worst pass defense in the country. And that really showed itself to a disgusting level on Saturday. I thought their offense might show up though and kind of make it interesting at least. And that did not happen at all. And I'm not really sure what Mel Tucker's philosophy was, but for whatever reason, they didn't bother really using their best weapon in formerly Heisman hopeful, Kenneth Walker III. He had 6 carries for 26 yards. It's like, what are we doing? What was he injured? I haven't seen that he was hurt. They relied on the passing game, and it was not working.
Nope.
A few things went against them early that just sort of snowballed, and then there was no chance. So maybe they got behind, and then by then the game plan couldn't involve the running game because they were so far behind they had to throw the ball to catch up.
I don't know. When you have that sort of weapon, he's as good as a pass because he gets chunk yards.
Yeah. Well.
It's kind of like it's what we were just talking about though in the Cowboys game too. Why did you did? It's still the first quarter. You're down by a lot of points. You don't have to.
There's a long ways to go.
Shit the game plan.
Yeah. Well,
stick to it. And they weren't.
I don't know.
Who was I think I texted you the not good when the backup running back fumbled the ball.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even understand why Kenneth Walker wasn't just full time in that game.
That's why I think there was an injury or something we're not really sure about, or I don't know. There wasn't much reporting on, or I didn't see anything about it.
I didn't see anything either.
But, I've talked about where I mentioned the Heisman. You talk about you've seen games where somebody wins the Heisman. I'm not sure if I've ever seen a game where somebody lost the Heisman. That was it.
That was it, man. You after you you showed up in such a big way against Michigan that really was like
that was his Heisman moment that I thought solidified it
to be absent. But again, I feel like the coaching staff screwed him on his Heisman moment because if he gets 20 touches in a game, you're going to see a lot more yards. Like you're going to be in the hundreds, probably in the yards, and you're probably going to have a touchdown scored by him at the very least.
Yeah.
And that keeps him in the conversation. Meanwhile, all the quarterbacks that they talk about went off.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's bad enough to have a terrible game, but then to have the other Heisman hopeful on the other side of the ball, CJ Stroud, throw for 6 touchdowns and almost 500 yards, if not over 500 yards in the first half.
So did
That
the
was his
Alabama. Yeah,
Heisman moment.
and so did the Alabama quarterback
Yeah,
this
yeah.
week. So
I think you can see Kenneth Walker III exiting stage right for the Heisman. He might still get I think he should still get the invite if it's going to be three guys
yeah, I think so
there.
too.
So, but I think he would have had a legitimate chance if he showed up against Ohio State, and he definitely did not. The other major question exiting this game
Yes.
is what the fuck's going on with Mel Tucker's contract?
Well, it may be in jeopardy after that game.
Well, that's the thing. Like we talked about this 2 weeks ago, 2 shows ago, that he was going to be signing an extension. Then last week, specifics leaked out about that it was going to be 10 years and $95 million. And as of this evening, I haven't seen that has been confirmed or a signed contract has been submitted. So
we can neither confirm nor deny.
my question is, what the fuck is Mel Tucker waiting for? I mean, to parlay, he's been at Michigan State for 2 years now. To parlay that, the first year's a COVID year, he finished 2-5. To parlay these 9 wins he's got this year into almost $100 million. Why isn't he falling all over himself to sign that deal? So either that deal doesn't really exist, or there's stipulations in that we're not aware of, or there's something strange going on that, because why he didn't sign that before the Ohio State game is beyond me. I can't, again, on the other side of that, I can't believe Michigan State would see that game and decide, they had decided what their next 10 years were going to look like. If that game changed what they think about that the next 10 years, then there's some issues with their decision-making process. So I don't know. I mean, it was a horrible game, but I mean, does he lose $100 million over it? Again, or maybe Michigan State was never even close to offering that $95 million. We were told it was 2 billionaire boosters that were fitting most of the bill. Maybe they got cold feet. If maybe in a complicated transaction like that, where the university is responsible for some of the money and 2 different billionaires are responsible for it, maybe things got fucked up. I don't know. So that's the question. I think Mel Tucker's worth it. I don't mind that kind of deal, like we talked about last week, especially when billionaires are footing the bill and not necessarily the university. They are taking all the risk. If it doesn't work out, they will buy him out. It doesn't hurt the university hardly at all, or the future of Spartan football, even if he flames out. So
yeah, exactly.
Well, the good news is State has one more game left. They are playing Penn State this weekend with a lot still on the line. They can actually, I think they have a shot at the Rose Bowl still, as they will most likely be the highest rated Big Ten team after Ohio State goes to the college football playoff, as they will most likely beat Michigan this weekend. Michigan would have 2 losses. Michigan would have 2 losses, including a loss to Michigan State. So it's got to be Michigan State. I have heard that there's speculation that State might end up in the Fiesta Bowl against none other than your Notre Dame Fighting Irish, which would be very interesting for this podcast.